everybody, welcome back to Gardening with the Landscape Connection. My name's Michelle. I own a garden center in northern Illinois, and we are going to take you through the world of gardening. So today I'm cleaning out some pots because I needed to get them cleaned and sanitized because we are going to grow some ginger, some turmeric, and then I'm going to show you how to get some lemongrass started. We'll also talk about some of the different things you can do with all of these things that we're going to plant, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to get them going today, and then as the season warms up, we'll take them outside. But with that, I'm going to finish sanitizing my pots. What I did was I actually just made a bucket of water with some Dawn dish soap and some soap. I washed out the inside. I rinsed all the soap out, and then I put 1 capful of bleach into a gallon of water, and then used my towel to sanitize the inside with a little bit of the bleach water. So these are ready to go because we're going to need these to do some of the projects that we're going to be doing over the next couple days. So come on with me. We're going to garden together. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're back. Okay, let me run around the counter here. So welcome back. Again, I'm Michelle from the Landscape Connection. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you are a returning person, well, welcome back. And today you're going to learn how to grow turmeric, ginger, and how to get lemongrass started. My mind just went blank there for a second. So if you like our videos, please subscribe. We would love to hear comments from you too. If you've tried different things or you've got a fun way to use any of these products, I'd love to hear about it. You know, my first love is gardening, but my second love is cooking. I love to cook, and I love to grow what I cook. And I know my husband is so sick of me going, I grew that. Every time he eats something that I grew that. I say that my kids are like, yeah, Mom, we know you grew that. And so, I don't know, I just love to grow different things and then figure out how to use them. So what we're gonna start with is I'm gonna move these pots out of the way real fast. I'm actually just gonna move it right over here and move this one down on the ground. All right, let's start with our lemongrass. So this is lemongrass that I went to the grocery store and bought. And as you can see, the bottoms are still intact here, as you can see that. So that's what you're looking for when you go. You're looking for it to still be fairly green. You don't want it all brown. You don't want the bottoms cut off. You do need that stem at the bottom, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna root these. And to root them, what I need is just a cylinder of water, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull any of the really brown leaves off, but restrain yourself from pulling a lot of the leaves off, because the new leaves will come up through the old leaves right here. So the other thing I wanna do is I do wanna trim them, and I bought 6 stalks in the hopes that at least half of them germinate, because I might not get them all to germinate, but I'm hoping that, you know, if I get 3 to 4 of them, that'd be great. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the tips off of these dried tips right here, and I'm just going to cut those right off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them in my water. I mean, it's that simple. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to put these inside in a south-facing window. Now, you could probably do a north or an east window, but you're not going to get as much light, and they're going to take longer to get going. They'll hum along, but they're just going to take longer. Now, what I want to do is I want this to root at the bottom. So you're doing what's called water rooting. So in a week or two, I'm going to get little root nubs that are going to be here at the bottom of this base right here. And so what I want to do is change the water maybe 2-3 times a week, or if it gets cloudy, make sure it's got nice clean water. I want to keep it in that south window so that it will warm up there and get good light. Once these roots get about 3 inches long, then I'm going to transplant that in. I'm going to transplant it into a pot. Now, this could take it a couple months to do that. Right now, it's the middle of March, so by the middle of May, I'm hoping that these are ready to go into a pot, because I can't take them outside and put them in the ground or take the pot outside until the temperatures are above 50 degrees. Now, this product, or lemongrass, it comes out of Asia and India. Asia, the Philippines, Malaysia, that's where it comes from. And so it's growing in those areas in the ground when it's really warm. Now, we can grow this here as an annual, but you can't grow it here as a perennial. It won't come back. So I grow it this way, and I do it in a pot. That way I can harvest right out of the pot. And usually with lemongrass, you can harvest about a month after you put it in the ground. It'll start to grow. Now, you're going to start to see new leaves come out, and you'll see these start to split open, and then new leaves will emerge in between the layers that we have here on the stalk. It'll get like the roots on the bottom. Once you get 3 inches, then you can pot it over. Now, these are gonna get 3 to 5 feet tall. So if you think about it, I am 5'4", so we're about this tall. So you wanna make sure whatever pot you put it in, it can handle it. So I'm going to use this big pot right here to plant mine in. And when I put my soil in, one, I'm gonna make sure there's drainage in the bottom. Two, I'm gonna use really good soil and I'm gonna make sure that this drains well. Lemongrass wants to be kind of consistently wet, but it doesn't want to be sopping wet. So you want to be able to water it well and have it drain out, and then it'll grow well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use probably my Fertilome potting soil. I emptied this bag into the 2 pots here and put the rest of it in my little potting tray over there, but I like the Fertilome Ultimate Potting Soil. That's the one that I like. Okay, I'm going to throw that down there. And then I'm actually probably going to add compost, worm castings, and then I'll add a good amount of the Biotone starter fertilizer into this, so that way it's got good nutrients to get it going. Once the temperatures warm up above 50 day and night outside, then this will go outside and grow for the summer. About a month to 6 weeks in, I'll be able to harvest it. Now, how do you use lemongrass? Well, lemongrass is really easy to use, but if you don't know what to do with it, you kind of look at it and you go, what the heck do I do with it? I know a lot of people grow it and they'll use it as a mosquito repellent in a pot around their patios and things, and it is a good repellent, but you got to have a lot of it for it to be effective. I like to grow it and use it in culinary purposes. I will use the bulb part, which is the bottom part down here. That's the edible part. I'll put it in, chop it up, put it in salads, stir fries, soups, stews, nice flavoring. This part here though, the grassy part, that part is not edible, but it can still be used. So I'll use that to infuse things like oils and vinegars. I can even use it to infuse vodka and make like a lemon flavored vodka, which we are gonna do. And then we're gonna serve that vodka at our flower mixer in September. How cool will that be? The other thing I can do is I like to chop it off and then I'll take the leaves and I'll stuff it up into a chicken. Now, it's like a bay leaf. When you're done cooking with this leafy part of it, you're gonna pull it out. But you can eat the bulb part on the bottom. So when you pick it, you cut it out, and you never want to cut more than a third at a time, and it'll regrow, and then you'll just keep using your lemongrass that way. Now, I typically grow mine as an annual every year, but I can pull some of this out of the ground, clean it up, and just keep propagating every year. So these little 6 stalks cost me 50 cents at the grocery store, and it'll be fun to do it. Now, we bring in lemongrass here at the garden center, so we bring in the little 3-inch lemongrass that we sell on our herb table, and I've grown that before as well, but I thought this would be fun to do, and as it matures, I'll kind of show you what it's doing, and then I'll show you some things that you can do with it as well as we get further along. Okay, so that's the lemongrass, and we're all done with that. We're going to take it inside and put it in the north window. Okay, next I have turmeric and ginger, and I bought these at a grocery store as well. And if you grow ginger, you can grow turmeric. How you grow them is about the same. Turmeric takes a little bit longer to grow than ginger, but they both do the same thing as far as their habit for growing. Now, these come out of India and Asia, and they've been growing turmeric and ginger for thousands and thousands of years. There are restorative properties to both, and they also use them in culinary dishes as well. Lots of different ways that you can use them, from fresh to drying them and grinding them up and using it that way as well. You can infuse them into different things, and each one has a little bit different property as far as what it'll do. Now, turmeric, there's been a lot of research and study on turmeric as a super spice, that it has really strong anti-inflammatory properties, strong antioxidant properties, and so people are really into turmeric right now. Now, turmeric takes about a year to get a good crop out of it. You could probably harvest it earlier, but I would give it a year. And again, it's growing in those really warm zones. So if you're like in zone 7 or lower, you can probably plant this in the ground. If you're in Arizona, it's probably super easy to grow it. But here in Illinois or the northern states, we have to grow them in a pot because it's going to take maybe a year for the turmeric and about 10 months for the ginger so that I can get a good crop. And so I'm going to start it inside. I'm going to put it in a south-facing window on a heat mat because it does want to have nice warm soil between 75 and 85 degrees, so that heat mat's going to help me warm that soil up, especially in this big pot, because you do want a pot that's at least 12 inches deep when you're planting both of these. The other thing is, once it's warm outside, I will take my pots outside, but I only have a 6-month growing window here from the middle of May to the middle of October. So that means I'm gonna have to bring it back inside to finish it off, and I'll be harvesting this more like December, January than I will when I'm harvesting everything else. And that's okay. I probably should have started it way back in December, but we're starting it today, and that'll be okay too. It'll be fun to grow. So I went to the grocery store and I spent $5 on the turmeric and about $3 on the ginger, but I will probably never have to buy either one of these again because I will always be able to harvest and then save some to replant the next year. Turmeric actually can get kind of expensive if you're using a lot of it. Now, to get the beneficial properties from turmeric, you probably have to take a product called let's see if I can say it, curcumin, and you'll buy it as a supplement, and that's what it's going to be called because that is what this turmeric produces. It's the compound it produces that produces all of the beneficial gazillion things that turmeric will do. You'd have to eat a lot of turmeric to get the benefits that you would from a supplement, but it certainly can't hurt to put this into your diet, and it is very flavorful. So if you've ever had Indian food like curry, turmeric is the spice or the root that is making it yellow. So it's used in a lot of Indian cooking. There's a big thing going around the internet right now about a, what's it called? It's like a turmeric golden milk recipe. And I printed the recipe because I'm like, I'm gonna try that. So I'll do a little short later and I'll show you how to make this and we'll see if it's any good. Is it something that you would drink every day to get the benefits of turmeric? Or is it something that's totally disgusting and you're like, I'm never drinking that again? I'm hoping that it's not gonna be that I'll never drink that again and it's totally gross. But we're gonna find out because we're gonna make it. Okay, so when you go to the grocery store, what you're looking for is you're looking for these little grow points on here. So all of them have little grow points on here, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm also looking for if a piece snapped off or if you snapped off a piece because you bought a great big piece, you really do need to let it sit out for like a day so that these can kind of harden over. You do want to let that, I guess, produce that little scar right there. So I'm looking for grow points on, and they're the little tips right here. You can see this one. And again, some people will pre-sprout it in water. I don't think that's necessary. And again, these look like big grubs, don't they? Little bitty or big grubs. I have 3 of them sitting inside on a plate, and the girls are like, what is that? I'm like, it's turmeric. But anyways, you're looking for these grow points right here because that's what we're gonna put underneath the soil. So what we're gonna do is we're actually just gonna take our pot. You want a pot that's at least 12 inches deep. And I'm going to uncover some of the dirt, and I'm just gonna place my grow points up. And you can put a big piece in, you can make them smaller. I find that if I leave them a little bit bigger, I have better luck getting them to sprout sooner. So in this pot right here, I'm just gonna put 3, and then I'm gonna cover them up with dirt. I'm gonna get a little more dirt out of my tray here, and then just cover those up. They're probably a couple inches down in the soil, and I put the grow tips up, and then I'm gonna water this really well. And then I have these little trays, again, my little trays here to put underneath so that when I take them upstairs, those will sit and not get water all over my furniture and the floor and everything upstairs. So we will leave these in here until they start to grow. Once the temperature is above 50, then I'll take them outside, let them grow all summer, bring them back inside and finish them off. Now I know it's ready to harvest when the leaves start to die back, and then I cut that off and I dig and lift all of the ginger out, and what'll happen is these ginger pieces will just multiply and get bigger. So you don't want to totally cover it. You kind of want some space in between so that you've got room for more ginger to grow. You do the exact same thing with the turmeric. And I have another pot somewhere. Here it is. So I have another pot right here. And again, I'm just going to dig a little hole. I'm going to take these. See, here's my little grow point. I'm going to put those up. I am going to leave space in between so that they've got room to grow. And out of this, so basically what I did was I laid those in there, see, just like that. And I've got space in between, 1, 2, 3, I put 5 of them in there. And actually I'm gonna put another little baby one right there, so maybe 6. That leaves me with more here, and I can get 2 more pots out of this. All right, so then I'm gonna cover it up. Again, it's about 2 inches deep. Okay, and I'm just gonna tamp that down just a little bit, not a lot, all right? I left it about that far below the lip, and so see, you can't even see them, but you'll see them start to root here once we get them going. And then I'm gonna get my little tray again and put that underneath. All right, and then I've got 2 more pots right here, I've got 2 more pots that I'm going to fill up, one with turmeric, one with ginger, so we're going to grow 2 pots of each. I did make my tags, and I put the turmeric in this one and my gingers in this one. Oh, and you know what? I do need to put a date on them, but I don't even know the date today. I know it's March something, so I'll get that on there later. I don't even know what day it is. So that's how I'm going to get these going. And then as these grow, I'm going to take them upstairs, water them in, keep them nice and moist, but not wet, sopping wet. But we do want to keep nice, consistent moisture in there. And then once these start to sprout and the temperatures are over 50, then we'll take them outside and we'll grow them outside through the whole growing season, and then we'll bring them back in. So stay tuned. I'll show you progress as they're going. I'm going to come around and just give you an update on the bulbs that we planted. It was my very first video that I did way back in January. So I thought I'd give you a little heads up on what's up with those. So let me come around and I'll show you. Okay, so I'm just going to pick this up right here and I'm going to grab this camera. Okay, so as you can see here, these are our tulips. These were the mentons, and see how they're starting to come up. And then I'm just starting to see some of the daffodils. These were the Bella Estradas. So got some little tips coming up here because it's warming up out here in the greenhouse. So they're starting to come up. So here are the best purples. Here's the allium. See, and I got a little one coming up right there. That's the only one I see in here. I've got some Bella Estradas coming up in here. Some different ones here, here. And then see, here's some little tips starting to come up in here. Now, I did put a tag in here every time I watered them. So I did water them on 119. And then I watered them again on 216. And then I watered them again on 3-1. So I watered them probably every 3rd week. And I didn't put a lot of water on them, just enough that they weren't drying out. And so just a little update on those. And you'll watch, once it starts warming up out here more often, these are really going to take off. So that is those for you. Let me turn this camera. Okay, so I am Michelle with the Landscape Connection. I hope this was helpful. I hope you are encouraged to maybe do some gardening on your own. And if not, just follow around because it'll be fun. And then I will show you the different things that you can do with all of these roots and the lemongrass, because my second passion is cooking, and I love to garden, and then I love to eat what I cook. And my purpose really is to kind of maybe help you know what to do with some of this stuff too. Sorry, I'm standing right here where the fan is blowing on me, but I hope this is encouraging. Again, please like our channel if you like our videos, share with your friends, leave your comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.